Hello and welcome back to Clownfish TV. It is me, Geeky Sparkles. I am here today by myself. There's no neon for this video. We're going to talk about Barrymore defending her stance on returning to the talk show. We're talking about AOC making comments. We're talking about Bill Maher and The View and a bunch of stuff. I'm going to try very, very hard not to, exceed the limiter today. Yesterday we were in a different location and I exceeded the limiter and ended up picking up on Neon's microphone. Today it is one microphone. I cannot promise that I will not exceed the limiter, but I will try not to. So before we get into it any further, please like and subscribe. If you do, you'll get a woohoo. Woohoo! And we're going to talk about this. So Drew Barrymore, had announced that she was going to return to the air with her show and that she wasn't violating her contract and she was making sure she was doing everything she could to not violate, other issues as she went back to return because, people need to go back to work. And that's what she said. She's returning because there are other people's jobs in the line. Exactly. We had Bill Maher saying the same thing. He said that, he has about writers have important issues I sympathize with, etc., but they're not the only people with issues, problems, and concerns, adding that the staff is struggling despite his personal assistance. And he's trying to bring, that back on the air. He will not do anything that he feels violates the WGA contract and all that. So Drew Barrymore, here's what she said today. I thought if we can go on during a global pandemic and everything that the world experienced in 2020, why would this sideline us? She posted, I guess, this thing on Instagram. She put a Friday up. She said that she'll be turning in compliance with the strike rules, which she's been saying the whole time. I certainly couldn't have expected this kind of attention. We aren't going to break rules and we will be in compliance. I wanted to do this because, as I said, this is bigger than me and there are other people's jobs on the line. But don't you know, and as we saw this yesterday, which is what made me mad and what me scream, is that these people are just so up their own butts about them, and what they're going to get, that they cannot hear anything but, well, you're rich and we don't get enough money at $11,000 a week. And, you have more money than us. That's not fair. But they keep sidestepping the issue, which is other people work at these companies, other people outside of, Hollywood itself, but like inside the industry where they help with like costuming or props or catering and things. They're all suffering too because of the strikes. It's not just you. And when you guys started this, we kind of like sided with you for the most part, and we still agree with everything but the one thing that has been the sticking point, the writer's room. You are being ridiculous. I am sorry, but you're being ridiculous. And the word negotiation, I thought you were writers. I thought you understood what language meant. The word negotiation, according to the dictionary, just for in case you don't know, it might be too big a word for you. The word is a discussion aimed at reaching an agreement. Okay? Reaching an agreement. It is not you get everything you ask for and that you hold everybody else hostage, including people who have less than you. It means you reach an agreement. Here's another one. Negotiation, a strategic discussion that resolves an issue in a way that both parties find acceptable. Negotiation. It's not you get your own way or you're going to hold your breath and tank everybody else in the industry. No, it's negotiation. And look, you guys were getting a pretty good deal if AmpTip was telling the truth, which, I understand how things work and it's possible they weren't. But even before that, going by your rates, you guys were getting paid pretty well. Your residuals, and that totally agree, needs to be fixed. AI, definitely an issue. Agree there needs to be rules in place. 100% agree with you on these things. I do not agree with you on the writer's room. I do not agree with you holding people hostage because you won't get your own way, including, I think, members of your own union who are, losing everything because you won't reach an agreement. All right. She denied the PR machine was behind the choice to resume the show without WGA writers. I don't know exactly what to say because sometimes when things are so tough, it's hard to make decisions from that place. So all I can say is that I wanted to accept responsibility and know I don't have a PR machine behind this. My decision to go back to the show, I didn't want to hide people behind people, she said. I won't polish us with bells and whistles and publicists and corporate rhetoric. I just stand out here and accept and be responsible. But basically she's doing it because she needs to get her people back to work. And there are a lot of people besides the writers who are impacted by the situation. Bill Maher was saying the same things yesterday. Now, The View, interestingly enough, The View has been doing this for a while now. And they literally had a couple WGA writers on staff that they apparently just stepped over and continued going. Now that we've mentioned it, now the Rolling Stone is like looking into it. Like people want to know how is The View still airing with striking writers want answers? Okay, so now they're going to look into it. Live with Kelly and Mark. Both that also were, resumed and was going on the whole time. It hasn't stopped. Those shows have been going on. You didn't stop them, but Drew Barrymore says she's going to go back to work and you're having a hissy. Bill Maher is going to return, you're having a hissy. But, your darlings, The View, have been back. And it's okay then. As long as you're not, violating the rules about talking about studios and stuff, you're going to have celebrity guests on that can't talk about anything but what they ate for breakfast. But okay, what size shoes do you wear? What clothes do you like? Oh, but they can't be designer clothes because that's just ant tip. This is just absolutely ridiculous. And then because, never to miss an opportunity. Here comes AOC. I mean, I'm a moderate. I lean left. That being said, I've never seen a bigger clout chaser in my life than AOC. Shows up to award show, or to the Met Gala? The Met Gala. And I granted someone gave her tickets supposedly, and she had to, let her borrow the dress that said "Eat the Rich" on it, allegedly. Could have sold the tickets and, help people like you claim you want to do. Here she comes in talking about, I don't support people who break picket lines. Well, here's the thing, AOC. I guess you support everybody else starving to death because I don't see you fixing it. And here's the thing, people that aren't striking actors or writers also work in the industry. People that work like in catering and costuming and things like that are outside, that they're paid to come in. They work in the industry. They are hungry. They are losing their houses too. They are suffering probably more so because they weren't paid as much as these writers are paid to begin with. Or now you get paid. I mean, I guess it's a big step up from bartending. And that's what you get paid, right? They don't get that. They're supposed to just lose everything so that the writers can hold out longer, even though they've gotten almost everything they asked for and they refuse to negotiate. Again, rewind the video if you want to know what the definition of negotiate is. So AOC's making these comments, and I'm like, you know what? Go play more Fortnite and try to look, relatable, and you be one of them to get your votes, because you're clearly out of line here, and you're out of touch, because most people in the country, unless you live in LA, don't give a shit. Other than the fact that that people are coming back because other people are being harmed by the strike, and you guys have been possibly given a big opportunity for a huge payday, and you still turned it down because you didn't get the writers' room mandates that a lot of apparently showrunners don't want you to have anyway because they find you be more a pain in the ass than anything. You don't need 20 people in a writer's room. Hell, you don't even need 10. This is absolutely ridiculous. But that's why Drew Barrymore is saying shit. Now, she might just be saying that now because Bill Maher already said that's what he was doing. I don't know. But before everybody started coming back, we kept saying, what about people below the line? What about people, that are, aren't the actors, aren't the writers that might be doing some of the other jobs and that they're maybe in unions, but their unions aren't striking? What about those people? Too bad for them, I guess. Some of them aren't even unionized because they don't even let them have unions. But, they're supposed to just, suck dirt. Like I said, again, you show up to Universal Studios Hollywood, and you need to respect that the Universal team members, that they are fighting for fair wages too. Yeah, $20 an hour, bitch, as opposed to $8,000 that you're mad about not only having like 8 or 9,000 and you're offered 11 or 12, up to $14,000 a week. These people get $20 an hour, and you had the absolute gall to show up there, hand out flyers, and then act like, oh, please remember them because they're suffering too. No, they're suffering hell a lot more than you are. Most people don't get that kind of money. I don't care where you live. And bullshit, you can't live in LA on that because there's a lot of people who live on far less. So, I have zero sympathy for you. I did have sympathy for you initially. I did agree with you on most everything but the writer's room because that was a ridiculous ask. But everything else, we completely agree with you on. We said, yes, totally agree, especially when it comes to residuals and AI. 100% agree with you. You guys, all the support you've had, you are just flushing down the toilet with your own arrogance and stupidity. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to feel bad for you, especially when you're out there making it about you when they're talking about how other people are suffering too. And we're going to respect the strikes. We're not going to violate the strikes, but we're going to get back to work for people that need it. And your attitude was, well, you're rich. What about me? That sums it all up. What about me? That you answered your own thing. And I really don't give two shits about you at this point. However, I do care about your pets. So make sure they go to the vet. Anyway, we're going to wrap this up and we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Help support the channel. Go to thereef.support and get early access to podcasts, videos, and other content. That's thereef.support.